we're back talking some more of the Wheel of Time this week with the 6th episode. I've had a lot of fun getting into this show as someone who is not familiar with the source material, so this is my first excursion into Wheel of Time with this season. Talking about the show each and every week with you guys has been a lot of fun. Last week's episode was pretty good as most of the characters made it to the White Tower besides Perrin and Egwene, who thankfully did end up escaping Child Valda at the end of the episode. With the season coming to a close in the very near future, we only have a handful of episodes left. Things are really falling into place here for those last couple episodes, especially with the end of this episode, which I'm not going to go into right now, but it really is the calm before the storm here. I think next week's episode is going to be really exciting. The opening of this week's episode caught me a bit off guard because it ended up being a flashback introducing us to Suwan, the leader of the Aes Sedai, as a kid, showcasing some of her abilities that she had even as a child, and then she leaves to go to the White Tower, and that leads us into present day when she enters the hall of the tower as the sisters gather around her and they bring in Loghain. So a very interesting way to introduce her into the show because her and Moiraine pretty much take up the entire bulk of the lead story in this episode. Right from the get-go, they do a great job showing just how powerful of a presence that she is. To someone who's a non-book reader, that is something that I appreciate. As despite everything, Loghain is still unwavering in his core beliefs, but instead of killing Loghain like he wants them to, she says instead of death, they're going to use him as an example of false dragons, and they're going to watch and study him until he goes completely mad. Just from that scene alone, it showed to me that she really meant business and made me worried for all the other characters in the room because they had to get some punishment as well. Because she's also really disappointed in the handling of Loghain, and she goes to punish Leandrin. Then Leandrin pretty much just straight up throws Moiraine under the bus, talking about how she's been hiding Nynaeve this entire time and that she may be more powerful of a channeler than her. Leandrin's been pretty shady these last couple episodes. She's not been one of my favorite characters or anything, but as someone who enjoys some shade, I do like the squabbles that she has with Moiraine in every episode. Moiraine, I think, gets the upper hand pretty much every time, though. Especially later on in the episode when Moiraine and her talk once again, and Moiraine threatens to tell her sisters about this man that she goes to see in town. I mean, Moiraine is great. She's probably one of my favorite characters, so it's just great to see her get more and more upper hands on Leandrin every time they have these squabbles. Pretty much everything set inside the hall in the White Tower is pretty tense, but I think the most tension does come from Moiraine as being questioned, as the issue is really pressed what she's been doing all these years away from the tower, and why did she never do her duty and warn anyone of previous threats. So because of that, she gets some penance too, unfortunately. While we await her punishment, I am glad that we finally do address the situation with Mat, since he's been kind of deteriorating in every single episode. He's not getting any better. So it felt like a relief when Lan brings Moiraine into their room to try and help out the situation. It gets pretty nuts though. Even as someone who isn't a book reader, I was pretty observant to the fact that that dagger was bad news, and it seems like it wasn't really addressed by anyone as the episodes progressed, and I felt like that was kind of weird. Dagger seemed to be the main crux of the problems with Moiraine having to channel darkness out of Mat back into the dagger since it was feeding off of him. It made for some pretty cool visuals seeing all of that play out, but I hope that Mat does learn his lesson and stays away from the dagger like Moiraine tells Rand later on. With all of their stuff last episode with the White Cloaks and escaping them, I was really glad to see that Perrin and Egwene finally made it to the White Tower. They're not necessarily really that involved in the main storylines in this episode because they are kind of recuperating, especially Perrin after everything with the wolf eyes and all that stuff. Turns out the whole stuff with his eyes turning gold apparently is frowned upon in this place because Moiraine wants him to keep that secret. Apparently there's a lot of secrets being kept. Poor Moiraine, she has to really wrangle in all these people with their secrets and keep them hidden. Moraine's pretty good at the whole keeping things unpredictable though, because the portion after that caught me off guard as well. She channels a doorway into Suwan's room, and it caught me off guard mainly because it turned into this steamy romance between the two of them. I thought it was going to be a normal conversation. I wasn't expecting romance. I'm all for it. I just wasn't expecting it right off the bat. With everything that transpires between the two of them in this episode, it does leave me actually wanting to learn more about their past relationship because we don't really delve into that too much in this episode, but I still really like the moments that they did have together. At least here, Moiraine does now reveal the truth about the group and their prospects as the Dragon Reborn, but the more sad aspect of it all is tomorrow she says that you have to exile her, which all of this was kind of emotional now knowing the romantic implications about their past, and it made it really sad when we do see her get exiled and she has to swear on the sacred rod to never return. But the final part of this episode is what has me very excited for the next couple episodes of season 1, because I think this is just the beginning of what's going to be a really crazy next couple episodes. I think it's going to get really intense. Everyone finally meets up together again. Moiraine, Rand, Mat, Nynaeve, Egwene, Perrin, and even Loial is there. Moiraine reveals to everyone that we're going to head to the Eye of the World where the Dark One is imprisoned, and we're going to take him out now while he's weak, otherwise everyone is done for. So that's going to be pretty crazy to go to just deal with the Dark One in these last couple episodes. I mean, it looks intense. I'm excited. However, the final stinger though is as everything is closing up, Mat stays behind, so Mat's not going to go on the journey with them. Hopefully that means he's not the Dragon Reborn, because the whole point of the journey is to go with the Dragon Reborn to take on the Dark One. But I know, I don't know. It's going to be crazy these next couple episodes. We only have 2 episodes left in season 1. I know we have a season 2 on the way. I just hope they're really able to stick the landing in these last 2 episodes to get me really excited for season 2, but also just have a satisfying season 1 conclusion as well. Make sure you let me know in the comment section down below what you think of episode 6 of the Wheel of Time season 1. Were you a fan of it, not a fan of it? Share all your thoughts down below. Also, are you excited to see what's to come next in these next couple episodes of the season? Are you not excited? Either way, share all your thoughts down below. Same goes if you're a fan of the novels. I'd love to know your thoughts when it comes to what's the same, what's different, because stuff like that does fascinate me because I haven't read the source material, so I don't know what's going to come next, what's different, what isn't different. Either way, thank you guys so much for my reviews. I really appreciate it. Make sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So, reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more on the channel. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.